anything. That's very generous of you, Tracy.
I know it is.
You're not really the reason I'm here.
Should we talk to the police?
I am not gonna let her get away with it. If you want that, you need to be honest with us. So you're gonna turn your back on both of us?
Oh, great. Another DNA test with Sasha's hair. Because clearly, we haven't put her through enough already, right? Just throw in some more unnecessary drama. I'm sure she won't mind. I roll. And Christina, sigh, she's absolutely exhausting. No wonder Molly can't stand to be around her anymore. It's not exactly a mystery. I mean, could she be any more insufferable? As for this whole who's her daddy mystery, we all know how this is going to play out. They're going to drag it out for ages, making us think it's Robert, only to hit us with a big surprise. Luke. Yep, he's going to be her father, and then Tracy's going to have to completely change her attitude. That will be fun to watch. Oh, and somehow, Sasha's going to end up with those diamonds. You know, the ones she and Cody will use to buy Serenity. No big deal. Just another day in Port Charles. And Holly? We all know she's lying through her teeth about Cody being Sasha's cousin. She's just trying to keep Robert in her back pocket because Diane scares the hell out of her. Let's be real. And Christina. One day, you're going to feel so guilty for the way you treat Sam. I mean, it's written in the stars at this point. Speaking of Sam, she's probably a goner in the next few days, considering we know she wrapped up filming weeks ago. But hey, her death will be the glue that brings Molly and Christina back together as sisters, because nothing says family bonding like a tragic death. Plus, there's some Danny and Jason tearjerker scenes lined up for November, so Thanksgiving's going to be so cheerful this year. Oh, and let's throw in Leopold Taub as a wildcard potential for Sasha's dad. Why not? Then she could inherit Serenity, and she and Cody could live out the rest of their days running a horse sanctuary. Makes total sense, right? And don't even get me started on the whole incest angle. These writers are just too much. But I will say, the idea of Holly being Sasha's mom, that's got some serious drama potential. Didn't see that coming. But wait, if Holly's Sasha's mom, does that make Sasha older than Ethan? Wasn't she in town the last time Holly was around? Did Luke know about her? I can't even remember who Holly was with first, Luke or Robert, or was she bouncing between the two? And how long are they going to drag this out before they finally do the DNA test? It's just going to keep getting messier. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. Sasha is way too smart, and she's been through way too much to just blindly trust Holly's word. I'm betting she'll start digging for the truth herself, and maybe even rope Robert, and who knows, maybe Diane, into helping. Imagine if Leopold Taub turned out to be her father. Then, bam, Serenity would be hers. That'd definitely complicate things for Holly, who's clearly trying to wedge herself between Robert and Diane. This storyline could drag on forever, but at least it might be entertaining. And let's not forget Sidwell. He'll pop back up eventually since Holly's still got his diamonds. As for that DNA test with Sasha's hair when Felicia ran Cody's to check if Mac was his dad, shouldn't there be some similar DNA? I mean, Mac and Robert are brothers. It's only logical. And I'm so over this Christina, Molly, and PG drama. It's dragged on for too long. Yeah, I know it's a soap, but come on, can we please move on? Someone explain why Jordan is still around. She doesn't even seem to have a role anymore. Also, when the DNA test was done, it was Sasha's hair, not Cody's, right? So if she was related to Mac, wouldn't that have shown up already? And honestly, why does Sasha keep getting saddled with these messed up storylines? She's a fantastic actress who deserves so much better than this endless chaos. Wow, just wow. After everything Sasha's been through, you take away her chance at happiness like this? Unbelievably lazy writing. It's despicable. And can we talk about Sam for a minute? Everyone knows she's going to die, and GH really did Kelly so dirty. This whole situation sucks. And seriously, who thought this nonsense about Sasha's parents being Holly and Robert, and Cuddy being her cousin, was a good idea? Are any couples on this show even happy? Feels like they're hiring these writers from a Walmart clearance bin at this point. Now, let's get into Rick. Him being cruel to Christina about Adela is just nasty. Does he even know what he's talking about? Hypothetical adoptive agreements aren't binding. Christina never surrendered her parental rights, so maybe he should show some respect. She's 100% in the right to call Adela her daughter. But here's Rick, stirring up drama, trying to hurt both his biological daughter, Molly, and his stepdaughter, Christina, while defending Ava, who's literally a baby killer. Oh, and stop spilling Heather's legal business to Ava. Ava's no friend to Heather, considering she tried to kill Esme while she was pregnant with Ace. How about we highlight that during the trial? Scout was so sweet, trying to throw a party and keep everyone happy. It's so heartbreaking knowing Sam won't be around much longer. Another longtime character being killed off. And seriously, it would have been the easiest thing in the world to make Sasha Ethan's twin and Luke's second daughter. Then she and Cody could have stayed together. Simple, right? But no, they had to throw this Sasha is Robert's child nonsense at us, which makes no sense because her hair didn't match Max in the DNA test Felicia ran for Cody. If they're killing Sam to save Lulu, and now Rocco, Danny, and Scout are all living together without their moms, GH needs new writers. This is just cruel. Also, Holly being Sasha's mother, I don't buy it for a second. Is this some kind of joke? If it were true, why didn't they ever interact when they were both on the show before? Where was Holly when Sasha's mental health was falling apart? And how does Sasha even know her as her mother? Cody as her cousin? This feels like another last-minute, lazy decision the writers pulled out of nowhere. Honestly, at this point, I wish Nina was Sasha's mom. For all her faults, Nina's always been the one who showed Sasha real motherly love, and that's been her only redeeming quality. I could roll with a lot of wild storylines, but this? No, this is not okay. The old writers worked hard to redeem Sasha, and what do we get? Her baby dies, her husband's murdered, her mother-in-law robs her blind, she's locked up in a psych hospital, and now she's cooking for the Quartermains after leaving a high-paying job. Cody was finally something good for her, and now they're making him her cousin. Stop. And correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Sasha swap Cody's hair for her own when they did that secret DNA test? So shouldn't she have shown some kind of match when the results came back? Or are we just going to pretend that never happened, GH? Conveniently forgetting things as usual. These storylines are getting repulsive. Cody is her cousin? Seriously? And don't even get me started on Drew and Willow. That's a whole other level of cringe. Do better, GH. Also, why isn't anyone questioning why Sasha didn't show any match when her hair was tested against Max? Writers, do you even remember what you write? Or do you just enjoy throwing out nonsensical plot twists? And the idea that Sasha kept this a secret all this time. It wasn't that long ago that Holly was in town. This is just insulting to the intelligence of the fans now. Sure, we're used to Holly being a con artist, but when Felicia brought up Sasha and Cody, Holly looked way too uncomfortable. Then to have Sasha open the door and call her mother and casually mention Ethan, as if Holly's son and Sasha's long-lost brother. Ridiculous. It would have been so much better if Ethan had actually come to town to bond with Sasha, especially after everything she's been through. Alright, I've got some serious gripes with the GH writers, and I need to get this off my chest. Who do they think we are? Idiots? Do they really think we just fell off the turnip truck yesterday? Where do they get off trying to pass Sasha off as Robert and Holly's daughter? Seriously, this has to be one of the worst plot lines yet. Let's break this down. Just last week, Anna was telling Holly to make sure Robert takes care of Robin, telling her how much her mom loved her since she thought she was going to die. Holly thought it was the end too, And we're supposed to believe that in all of that, she wouldn't tell Anna about Sasha. That Robert has another daughter out there. Really? And let's go back even further. When Sasha lost her baby, where was her so-called mother? Wouldn't that have been a great time for Robert to step up or for Holly to be there to support her through her grief? And what about when Sasha was locked up in Ferncliff? No one thought to bring her long-lost parents into the picture then. It's like the writers think we're completely clueless. They forget that some of us have been watching GH longer than they've been writing for it. Maybe they should do their homework and learn the show's history before pulling these ridiculous stunts. Do better, GH. And now we've got Sasha wanting Robert to know that Holly claims he's her long-lost father and asking for a DNA test. Meanwhile, everyone at the Q estate is both happy and heartbroken that little Violet is leaving Port Charles to be with Finn. Oh, and let's not forget Holly dropping the bomb on Maxie and her mother, saying Sasha's her daughter and Robert's her father. How convenient. At least Sam stepped up and put her younger sisters in their place, making them see how ridiculous they were being. They should be supporting each other through their pain. They lost a baby, and so did TJ. And now we've got Elizabeth and Lucky reminiscing about their past and their son, while Dr. Isaiah is likely going to have to step in and help Lulu. But seriously, GH writers, can we just pause and think for a second? These lazy twists aren't fooling anyone. Well, looks like another character is leaving GH, even if it's just one of the kids. Violet was such a cute addition to the show, and she'll definitely be missed. What I don't get is the explanation behind her departure. At the end, they said she was going back to Oregon to be with her dad, who's a teacher. When did Finn go from being an infectious disease doctor at GH to a teacher? Did I miss something? Or are the writers just throwing random details at us again? And speaking of Finn, when he was fired back in July, Michael Easton made it clear it wasn't his choice. It was the writers who decided it was time for him to go. Honestly, I think most of us can agree. It's time for these writers to leave. Now stay with me here. What if someone tried to mess with Lulu's ventilator because they didn't want her to live, and Sam is scheduled to be her donor? Then this mysterious bad person finds out and kills Sam, whether by car crash, in the hospital, or some other way. Meanwhile, it's revealed that Sasha isn't Robert's daughter, but actually Luke's daughter, putting her in line to be the donor. Or maybe Sasha is Robert's kid, but the catch is that Lulu needs a full liver, which they could get from dead Sam. I don't think either scenario is totally off the table. What do you all think? On another note, Sasha King cleaned a Robert, and they're going to get a DNA test done through the WSB lab. Thankfully, somewhere Holly can't meddle. So Alexis told her brats, Christina and Molly, that they were basically burning the family to the ground. Any thoughts on that? I'm so relieved that Sasha has a good head on her shoulders, and Robert has been fantastic through all of this. I'm loving how the storyline is playing out so far, and hopefully we'll get the truth soon. They don't seem too worried about Holly interfering with the DNA test, yet. Hopefully, she won't catch wind of it. I've also been really enjoying the interactions between Robert and Sasha. He's been so kind to her, which is a huge change from the way he felt about her back in the day when she was going through all her troubles. You've got to give Sasha credit. She laid it out for Robert, telling him, "Let's get one thing straight. You're not my father." The look on his face was priceless, like he was completely clueless. I'm just glad they're aware Holly could interfere, and I'm hoping we don't get some twisted, tampered results. But we'll see what happens. Robert is definitely not Sasha's father. That reveal came way too early in the storyline for it to be true. Sasha's real father is going to be someone none of us expect. Mark my words. I know people are complaining about this whole Sasha and Holly twist, but honestly, I'm happy Sasha finally has a real storyline and some backstory. For so long, she's just been bouncing around without much depth. I always thought Sasha's past needed more exploration, especially her parentage, so I'm glad to see that happening. That said, I don't believe Holly's telling the truth about Robert being Sasha's father. I really doubt the writers will permanently ruin Sasha and Cody's relationship by making them related. That's way too messy, even for GH. My only gripe is, why hasn't Holly ever sought out her daughter during all her previous visits to Port Charles? That doesn't add up. Now, here's an interesting point. When it comes to DNA testing, like from LabCorp, a parental DNA test could also reflect a relationship with an aunt or uncle, since siblings share DNA. I tried bringing over an article on this but couldn't. If you Google it, you'll see that if a parent is unavailable, they can use an aunt or uncle to prove a sibling match. So unless GA skipped the research, which is very likely, Sasha can't be Robert's daughter. If her hair had been tested against Max, there would have been some sort of familial match. Of course, when Felicia ran the DNA test, they might have just been checking specifically to see if it was Max's child, not for a general family match. So when the tests said no, it simply indicated Mac wasn't the father, without digging deeper into a broader family connection. If the writers were really pushing the idea that Robert is Sasha's dad, they could have fudged the results to keep us in suspense. Personally, I think Holly's lying. She's just trying to get close to Robert by bonding over their daughter. I wouldn't put it past her. Now, if Sasha's father turns out to be someone like Leopold Taub or even Faison, it raises another question. Why would Holly have any issue with Sasha and Cody being together? There would be no reason for the whole incest mess if her father was someone else entirely. Oh, Holly is really wishing Sasha is Robert's daughter. But sweetie, DNA doesn't lie. I just hope Sasha remembers that her hair didn't match when they did the test. Honestly, I didn't get the impression that Holly actually believes Robert is Sasha's father. I think she just sees the potential benefits of claiming it. Let's be real. Holly seems more embarrassed that Cody isn't from a wealthy family than she is concerned about her daughter's happiness. Did you notice how she grilled Sasha about Cody quitting modeling to work as a stable hand? It's like she cares more about that than their relationship. What nonsense! And let's talk about the fact that Holly is pretty well known in Port Charles. If she knows her mother is Holly and her brother is Ethan, why hasn't Sasha mentioned it to anyone? The math just isn't adding up here. Remember when Sasha was engaged to Michael? Well, guess what? Ethan is Michael's cousin. So not to mention, her brother's sister is Lulu, and her brothers are Lucky and Nicholas. If Robert is her father, that would make Robin her sister too. This is all just too much to swallow. It feels like the writers are trying to stir the pot, but they clearly haven't thought this through. Just saying, does anyone else think Tracy might be auditioning for the role of abusive boss of the year? Seriously, it's infuriating how she treats Sasha. The poor girl has been through enough hardship and loss, yet all Tracy does is pile on the misery. I won't spoil anything, but let's just say Sasha's about to face even more devastating news. Yay for her, right? I used to have a soft spot for Holly, but can someone please explain where she's been while Sasha has been suffering? It's like she's too busy fawning over Ethan, because who wouldn't want to chase after that charming gem? It's reminiscent of those overbearing mothers who dote on their sons while completely ignoring their daughters. How charming. And don't get me started on Tracy. She's always been a colossal pain, strutting around like she owns the place. Sure, she's a boss, if you consider being a boss bitch synonymous with being a total jerk. Somehow, Chris and Court seem to be a bit mixed up. Here's a clue. The viewers want to see Tracy take down major players like Sunny, Anna, and Robert with her trademark cutting remarks, not bully the help in service jobs. Yet, here she is, treating Sasha like a punching bag, while simultaneously reminding everyone she's a guest in the mansion. Meanwhile, the staff has to grin and bear it, thanking her for her daily dose of vitriol. It's like watching a train wreck in slow motion, and I can't look away. So, Sam, did you catch Elizabeth and Isaiah's heartwarming little chat the other day about the wonders of organ donation? It felt like a blatant PSA, trying to inspire viewers to hop on the organ donor train. I mean, there's no way the writers would dare kill Sam off by throwing a wrench in the transplant works, right? I had the exact same thought. I was right there with you until I realized that would completely undermine their precious PSA about organ donation. Because, nothing says we care about life-saving transplants like a tragic death in the operating room. But let's be real, if they went that route, it would definitely rock that little family's world. Just imagine the fallout. Rocco and Dante's kids would be furious at them for losing their mother. And then, oh joy, Jason and Drew would suddenly have to step up and parent their own kids. Because nothing screams happy family like chaotic parenting after a devastating loss. Now, I was thinking that maybe Sam's surgery would take a turn for the worse, and she'd go down on the table trying to save Lulu. They'd swoop in and rescue her organs, turning her into some kind of heroic organ donor, gifting Lulu with a kidney. So in the end, Sam ends up saving multiple lives while her family is left to pick up the pieces. Classic soap opera drama, am I right? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.